Hey guys, it's Jacob Myers from the Southern Outdoorsmen. Today we have another gear review for you. It's been highly requested, which is the Out on the Limb Manufacturing PODIUM platform. So we're going to be talking about specs today, dimensions. It's 16 inches wide by 9 inches deep. Weighs right at 3 pounds. And we're going to put it through its tests today. We're going to test, number one thing we're going to be testing is side pressure. Everybody's wondering how well it takes side pressure. There's some people that think it's, it's going to slip off or something. So we're going to test that today. We're going to test how well it bites to the tree with the different teeth design for its bracket system. And also we're going to do a little comparison kind of head-to-head between the PODIUM platform and the Predator platform, okay? So we're going to talk about that in a little bit later on in this video and kind of show you maybe some of the advantages and disadvantages of the PODIUM compared to the Tether and vice versa. I think you're going to be very impressed with what we found today. Stay tuned. Okay, so this platform, the PODIUM, is quite large. That's one thing that's kind of interesting about it, especially for a new guy starting into saddle hunting. Used to being on a tree stand, having a bigger platform might benefit you, but also the weight's what's surprising. It looked quite heavy, but actually it's right around 3 pounds, which is fantastic. It's all aluminum, but the dimensions on it's 16 inches wide by 9 inches deep. So it gives you plenty of room to be able to maneuver up there, take any different shot angles, and for a new guy, it's going to give you more comfort, I think, starting out. One thing about this platform is, again, it's all angle aluminum. And then we have the expanded metal aluminum top, and then their bracket system. Now this is a bracket system that Matt from Out on a Limb uses with his ambush tree stand. So super hardy, weight capacity on it, 300 pounds is what he rates it for, and it comes with a cam strap. So let's kind of show you a little bit of functionality of how this thing works. All right, so we're about to show you how this attaches to the tree. Now the top of the PODIUM on the bracket is cut out, so you get a nice snug fit to be able to cam it over. So let's show you how that works. So you're coming to the tree just like this, have the platform pointed straight up so the bracket goes straight into the tree. You're gonna cinch it down, okay? You're gonna lift up on the PODIUM just a little bit and then cam it straight down. And that's it right there. Now, as we've shown you so far, this thing will literally take the strap off, it will literally stay in the tree how well it bites because of the way the teeth are designed on this thing. So that's fantastic. Now, when it comes to usability of it, we've noticed, okay, we've had to cut quite a bit of some footage. I've had to practice with it a little bit. I haven't used it up until today, and it does take a little bit of work kind of learning how to cam it over properly. It's just like, anyone that started to use wild edge steps, the first couple times you used them probably didn't work out that great, so you had to kind of keep adjusting, trying to figure out that perfect point to cam them over. Same thing with this thing. So the PODIUM, it looks fantastic so far, but let's test it out. Get in the saddle, test this bad boy out, and see how well, first of all, the functionality works, but also how well it takes side pressure. So let's do it. All right, so we have the PODIUM hung. Of course, you see me up here. First impressions, getting up on it, it's extremely secure, but it's huge. I mean, it's a very large platform for the weight. Again, 16 inches wide, 9 inches deep, right at 3 pounds. It's fantastic. I mean, I get my whole boot on there. There's plenty of room to move around, stand up on, maneuver. I mean, completely turn sideways. It's fantastic. One thing we've noticed negative though about it, it's been raining out here for a couple days now. Boots are wet. This aluminum, when you're on it and you maneuver around with a rubber boot on, it wants to make some noise, and it's not creaking. It's just squeaking with your boots because it's wet. Now, one thing I think that you could fix that with would be spray it with bed liner. I'm going to test it and see if that works out. For some reason, I'm thinking the bed liner is going to make it, first off, a little bit quieter, but it's going to give you even more traction on this, and I think it would take away some of that squeaking noise. Another thing we notice about it while getting up on here is it takes side pressure quite well. That was like one of the biggest concerns was, how well does it take side pressure? It doesn't, a lot of guys were thinking, hey, it might not take it very well, but we've tested it and it works quite well. All right, so right now we have a comparison between the Predator platform from TETHRD and then also the PODIUM from, of course, Out on the Limb Manufacturing. Two big differences I've noticed right off the bat. First of all, of course, size comparison. The PODIUM is, again, 16 inches wide by 9 inches deep. The Predator is 12 inches wide, 14 inches deep. So a little bit different design, a little bit different functionality. Definitely, when it comes to that, I definitely notice on the, of course, the PODIUM, you can spread your legs out a little bit farther. Again, whether or not that really makes a difference for you, it is what it is. And the Predator, your legs are a little bit closer. And again, I got a big old thunder thighs, so the old thunder thighs, is what it is up here. But another thing I noticed, with the wet boots on, the PODIUM, let me get over here. PODIUM kind of squeaks a little bit. Again, it's just because of the wet aluminum. It's not because it's popping or anything. It's just the wet aluminum. Now, the Predator doesn't do that really at all. So that's one thing I noticed. Now, again, I think you could fix that on the Podium real easy by just spraying some bed liner on there. I think that's stopping that noise. But again, we'll test it out. We'll see how it turns out. Another thing that we noticed, of course, you know, on the Predator it's cast aluminum, where on the Podium it's expanded metal and angled aluminum. So it comes down to really cost benefit. The tethered Predator platform is $179. The Podium is $139. So whether or not that cost difference really, you know, benefits you, that comes down to what you want to do. Matt sells them at shows like the Iowa Deer Classic, which I don't know when this video will drop, but Iowa Deer Classic, I know Matt's selling the Podiums for 99 bucks the whole weekend. Whether you're at the show or not, give him a call. He'll sell it to you for 99 bucks. So that might make it worth for you. Again, you can DIY it, spray it with bed liner, do whatever makes it, you know, functional for you. But really, you know, you look at it, these things weigh pretty much the exact same weight from what they say from manufacturing. Again, haven't put a digital scale on there. Hopefully we'll do that in the future, give you guys some more realistic numbers. But the one thing I've noticed is this comes down to what you want to do. I don't think either one's a bad option, and I don't think any other one is necessarily that much greater than the other. It just comes down to really your budget and then functionality, what you want. I think both of them are fantastic. Both of them handle side pressure very well. As y'all seen the videos from our tethered Predator platform that we did a couple months ago. But really, again, it comes down to budget. Budget and then functionality.
All right, guys, Andrew Maxwell from the Southern Outdoorsman here. I've been behind the camera the whole time, but after we got done, we cut the cameras off, got up on the tree, shot the longbows a little bit to kind of get a feel for both of the platforms. My initial impression from this thing is, one, it is way lighter than it looks. When I first saw it, I thought it was steel. So I thought it'd be, you know, a giant hunk of metal that was extremely heavy, but it's not. It's extremely light, surprisingly light. Another thing is you get really good traction on this. I was a little afraid of this being kind of slick, especially when it was wet today, and it really wasn't at all. And as you can see where it's welded right here, those actually grab onto your boot a little bit. So that's actually kind of a plus. Those they're not really rough welds, but they stick out a little bit and your boot can catch it. So especially on a day like today when it was wet, going around the side of the tree, that helped a lot. Other than that, the only I guess downside to this was camming it over takes a lot of practice. So as we mentioned, it's got this groove right here, and you know, you stick that in the tree, you tighten it up, and you cam it over, and it locks itself to the tree. That takes a little bit of practice, because if it's too loose it won't work right, and if it's too tight it won't work right. So it takes a little bit of getting used to know like that exact fit. It might take, you know, 5 or 6 tries to get it to actually cam over correctly. But I feel like, you know, once you get used to the platform and get used to how hard you need to strap it in, I feel like that won't be as much of an issue anymore. But that's something to be aware of. It's going to take practice to know how to set this thing up correctly. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Be looking for some more gear reviews coming soon. I think we got like 6 or 7 more we're going to want to film, you know, over the coming days. Look for some, you know, turkey stuff too. And other than that, make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our podcast. But thank you guys for watching.